What's going on, everybody? Another video about the moment we move from suffering to happiness, or, what is going on when that transition happens. So why do you go from, let's say, being in pain, feeling empty, feeling rejected, lonely, depressed, sad, angry, frustrated, bored? When you go from all of those feelings to feeling good, satisfied, content, happy, in peace, what exactly is going on there? It's actually quite simple. The process of getting from one point to the other may not be simple, but what's actually happening is actually quite simple, and it is, as with all my videos or most of my videos, it comes down to your attention, and basically your attention going from whatever it is that is causing you suffering. So it could be thoughts of a person, hey, how you doing? I got this cat in here and fell asleep. But it can be from your attention going on thoughts that are hurting you, causing the emptiness, the loneliness, towards thoughts of your life goals, your own life, your journey, basically thoughts of you. So the moment that you go from thinking of others to thinking of yourself more is when you will transition from suffering to happiness. Okay? And the ultimate example of that is, for example, Buddhist monks, or anyone who meditates. Their thoughts, what they are doing constantly is training their attention to be on themselves in the most way that they can, in the purest way that they can, which is, focusing on their breathing, their presence. So they're not even thinking of their goals, their this and that. They are literally thinking of, they're in the present moment, they're focusing on their breath, they're focusing on what they have, what is happening in front of them right now. That's I mean, I think that that's a good practice to feed into your life. You could do meditating 5 minutes a day, 1 minute a day. We all do it in our own way anyway. It could be walking, swimming, sports, whatever. But that's the most extreme and powerful way, I believe, to strengthen, that our ability to put our attention on ourselves. A big reason for why a lot of us suffer our thoughts, and let's say, for example, find it really difficult to transition from the suffering to the place of happiness and peace and feeling good and being able to let go and focus, get back to your own life and what you love and enjoy your life again. The reason that's hard for a lot of people is two reasons that I can think of. One is that, our awareness muscle becomes really weak. Oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering, I got like black eye here. Got punched in the eye a couple of days ago in sparring with a couple of fighters who have some big fights coming up. So anyway, so yeah, the reason why it's hard for most people is because our ability to focus is really weak. And it's like anything in life. If you don't do push-ups at all, ever, then it's going to be hard for you to push your body off the ground. If you don't do pull-ups, if you don't run, if you don't walk, if you don't do exercise, then going for a hike, going up a mountain is going to be hard. It's the same. If you don't keep your attention muscles strengthened, your ability to focus and be in control of where your attention goes. What I mean is, like, can you focus and take your attention off negative thoughts and put them on thoughts that are going to help you? It's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do, and you need to have that strong attention muscles. That's why people meditate. That's why people spend time with themselves, they have me time, because when you have more me time, whether it's playing the guitar, drawing, writing, reading, some any activity that involves you're just doing it for yourself, and it doesn't involve other people, it doesn't involve even other animals or whatever, the fewer external things that it involves, the more powerful your me time is. When I say the fewer external things, I mean, again, think back to what I was talking about with the Buddhist monks. They're literally just focusing on their breathing. So they don't even have a book. They don't even have a guitar to play. They don't even have a canvas to be drawn. They're going so hardcore. But it benefits them in so many ways. We look at them, most of us will look at people like that and be like, wow, what boring lives they have. But the fact is, they have amazing lives. I spent 10 days doing a silent meditation at a temple in Thailand, and I could hear the monks. I was living right next to the monks, and the thing is, like, when you train yourself uh, to have a strong focus, have a strong attention, then you can put your mind onto anything you want, and you can put it onto happiness, you can put it onto bliss, you can put it onto anything. So it's one of the most important skills that we need as a human being, but for some reason it's the weakest one that we display and exhibit as human beings, and it brings so much suffering and conflict into the world, because we're so weak with our attention, and we've been like bred from birth, conditioned from birth to respond to distractions, especially distractions that are interesting. And I don't want to get too conspiracy theory here, but I mean, it is kind of fishy, capitalism, using all humans kind of like as if we are livestock, just to pay, to work, to pay, to buy things, to consume, you know. So our world is very much geared to distract us, to like with stimulations. So it works basically against being able to have your strength of focus and attention so that you're not easily distracted. And for people who are going through some sort of a loss or a breakup or a difficult situation where they're trying to forget or let go of something, if you have that weak focus, that weak attention muscles, then it's likely that your thoughts or your attention, sorry, will be pulled so much more potently and easily towards the most interesting thoughts, or the thoughts that you've been spending most time with. So it could be your ex, it could be the person that you're with. So your thoughts will still be in that spiral, and it'll be really hard to come out of it. And really, though, so the first reason, as I said, is our weak attention muscles. But the second main reason is because we don't give ourselves enough time, and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to recover very quickly. How you doing, buddy? Come and say hi. Come and say hi. Look at this. Look at this girl. Look at this girl. She's so cute. And why is she wet? Have you been in the shower? You've been in the shower, haven't you? All right, go, go, go. Out you go. Yeah, so the first reason again is having a weak attention, uh, which this is like just something that over time, like I said, it's like going to the gym. You can strengthen it, and should be working on it every day. Meditating a little bit every day. I like to do it before bed. But the don't think about the meditating too much. Think more about the establishing a relationship with yourself, the me time. I prefer using that to the word meditating. Me time is when you tell the world, tell your friends, and tell your uh, even your family, and you kind of like unplug and you are left with yourself. And now work towards enjoying your time with yourself. You know, and that's me time, is cultivating that me time is all about creating that core of confidence, self esteem, self love, this foundation of happiness and confidence and peace within yourself that should be the basis of your entire life. Your entire life's journey of happiness should be built upon your relationship with yourself. As I've been mentioning in some of my previous videos, there's unfortunately a lot of people out there who are hurt through relationships, hurt through breakups, and especially if you have been receiving a lot of attention from the person that you were with, and then you break up, you're going to have a huge hole left. Having the hole is natural for everyone when they go through a breakup, but it can be greater in some people who were perhaps more needy and more, what's the word, high maintenance emotionally. Unfortunately, there's always balance in life. You take this much, and you're going to have to give back this much. It's never that you're going to take, and there's no answer for it. So life is there's always going to be balance. If you hurt someone, you're going to be hurt as well. So you're never going to get away with, just any of this stuff. There's always going to be some kind of justice. I guess you can call it karma, you can call it whatever, but most people that are hurt and by through a breakup or a loss or whatever, losing your job or something, there's always this tendency to very quickly go for the easy, quick things that give us pleasure. And one of the main ones is going to be seeking attention from people, whether it's even just texting. There's a lot of people that they go on dating websites just to get their ego boost, just to get attention from people. There's nothing wrong with all of these things, but be aware of where you are getting your attention from, because if you do it over and over, let's say you have had a breakup and then you're feeling really empty, and rather than doing the right thing, which is to just feel the pain, feel the burn, go through it, and actually by doing that, you're going to heal much quicker. Yes, in the short run, it feels like you're making everything harder and longer for yourself, but it's actually, you're experiencing just pain. It's like if someone punched you in the stomach and then you immediately take adrenaline or you take steroids or you take some kind of drug to numb that. It's not going to make that pain disappear. The pain's still going to be there, and you're going to still have to deal with it, process it, and until it's gone. A lot of people, they take pills and stuff, and then when the pill fades away, their pain is even worse. And it's the same with like quick fixes, like trying to get attention from people just to fill that hole. You can make that hole bigger and bigger, because it's more likely that the people you're going to be getting attention from are the wrong type of people, not people who actually care about you and want the best for you. And this is how you can make things worse, because you will get into a habit of, rather than um, filling that hole that's left behind with good things, things that enrich your life, inspire you, that make you feel content, at peace, at home, things that are good for your health, things that are going to last a longer time. And I think ultimately that is like the key to to happiness, is to focus your attention onto things that are more likely to last a long time. You know, get your attention from friends, good friends, from family, or put your attention again, like I said, on your me time. That's, I think, the ultimate of all, because you're going to be around as long as you're going to be around. So there's nothing going to be around in your life longer than you, which is why a lot of Buddhist spiritual meditators, they anchor their attention into their breathing, into themselves, because they know that this is going to be around until the end of time, or until you're on this earth. And this is the relationship that is most important. Having this connection with yourself, having this attention, this love for yourself, this feeling awesome to be with yourself and do things with yourself. But again, all things in balance. You don't want to be too much of spending time with yourself. It's important to also have other things where you're getting energized from and giving energy to. Usually, the best relationships are the ones where you're giving something and you're also getting something. So there's an exchange of energy. It doesn't have to be a relationship with a person, it can be a sport. If I'm doing jujitsu, I'm giving a lot of energy, but I'm also receiving a lot from it. So those are the best relationships. If you ever find yourself in a relationship, especially in a rebound, or after a breakup where you're seeking better energy, wholeness, trying to fill that hole up with good things, you can always use this as a measure of the people that you're in a relationship with. When you when you start to become aware of how much are you receiving from them, and how much you're giving them, and is that equal? Is there an equal um, exchange of energy? It brings to mind recently someone that I met actually on a dating site, but someone who, it was very clear that this was a energy draining relationship for me. So while it was difficult for me to do, was I knew exactly that this is something that I need to cut out, remove, create distance from, and let go, move on, refocus with my life, get back onto track. And prevention, as I have said in some of my previous videos, is the best cure. So preventing yourself from getting deeper into toxic relationships, or preventing yourself from getting deeper into toxic activities or environments, or it could be a gym, it could be work, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, just to recap, the first reason why we find it difficult moving from suffering to happiness is because our attention muscles can be weak. So it's good to strengthen them, and you strengthen it by doing more me time, meditation, feeling the pain, feeling the burn, being okay with it, realizing it's natural. Don't be afraid of the pain, the burn, the empty feeling. It's okay. This happens to everyone, even celebrities, even presidents, even rich people, poor people. No one is immune from it. We all have to go through it. And, yes, we live in a world where everyone's smiling, everyone's showing their strengths and their good things, but everyone's going through all of this. Everyone is. So don't feel left out. Don't feel like you're missing out. Don't feel like you're falling behind. Don't feel like you're being excluded. At the end of the day, it's not really love that is causing us our pain. Our pain is being caused by our ego, this sense of this other person is better than me, or I'm not as good as I believe, or I'm not as good as this person. So in breakups and in sometimes rejection, losses, things like this, even losing your job, your work, there can be a feeling of like that other entity, the other person or whatever, is better than you. And at the core of it, that's really what's going on with a lot of breakups, and a lot of um, you know, a lot of the people who are able to get through their breakup much more easily, much more quicker, and in a much more healthy way are the ones who go focus on themselves. Who every day, no matter how hard it is, they feel the pain, they feel the burn, they feel the emptiness, but they keep taking one step forward, more and more, doing all the things that they know that they should be doing, and mentally coming to a place where they feel that more empowered and they have more of the power. And no contact is a huge help and tool for that, especially if you have someone who's messaging you, to take your power. And this is like literally, the more and more I work with people, the more and more I experience all this, the more and more I become, I'm becoming confident in telling people, no, do not write back to your ex. Before I used to be more like, hey, if you have some things to get out off your chest, then maybe do it and then do no contact. But really, there's no need for that because when someone's contacting you to take your power, they're still stuck in a game of trying to win, trying to be better than you, trying to come out on top. But without realizing it, especially if they're saying hurtful things, I was working with someone recently who their ex like unloaded a lot of hurtful things on her and kind of damaged her self-esteem or kind of got her doubting herself. Um, when people are doing that, it's very important to realize that they're doing that because they are hurt and they most likely miss you. And it's actually coming from a place of disappointment and being dumped. So when people are reaching out, contacting you to try to take your power, it's because you're above them. Okay? So if anyone's out there is listening and their ex is being annoying and contacting them or whatever, brilliant. This is great for you because you are clearly above, you're most likely rising above, and you're most likely, it could be that you were and are the energy generator in the relationship. And good for you if you are, because energy generators usually are givers in a relationship, but I'm like that as well, and we have to keep ourselves in balance. Yes, give to people, but once our cup has been filled and overflows, allow the overflow to go to people. But first, fill your own cup. First, become whole and happy and in love and just happy in life first. So, when people are trying to contact you to take your power, know that that's because you're above. When people start to say vicious, mean things to you in breakup or after a breakup, that's even better for you because don't take all that shit uh, literally or to heart. People will the, remember the aim is just to hurt you, and especially if you've been with someone longer, they'll know exactly what to say to hurt you. I bet you could say something right now to hurt someone close to you, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your friend. I bet you could figure out the best thing to tell them to really hurt them. Does that mean that you really believe those things that you would say? No, you're only going to say them to hurt because you're hurt. Okay, so a lot of people believe these things to be true because they are hurtful and they're believable, and you believe, wow, yeah, that is true what this person's saying. But don't believe it. It's not the truth. They're realize what's really going on is that they're hurt. They're down here, and they're trying to like bring you down to their level, which is always going to be impossible because you're always going to be rising, and these people until they connect with themselves and create a relationship with themselves and do the right things, they're also going to just be falling constantly. So I'm gonna do videos soon on addictions, but how to replace unhealthy addictions with good addictions, because I don't think it's, you know, very realistic to just say, hey, quit an addiction. I don't believe in that. That's not how I have been doing it for myself. I prefer to replace addictions with other addictions. So, like, I'll have, let's say, for example, an addiction of people. If I have get addicted or too attached to someone or something, a group of people, and I leave them or lose them or whatever for whatever reason, then I try to replace that with, sometimes I love, reading good books or watching YouTube videos of, you know, clever people spreading good knowledge. So, that replaces my need for, that was just a quick example off the top of my head, but I'm going to do a video, go into more detail of like what are good um, replacements for unhealthy addictions. So rather than rebound dating, which is so dangerous and so, you're opening yourself up potentially to like hurting yourself more and more and lingering in that world for a long time because you can make that a habit, you know. Rather than rebound dating, introduce a new addiction into your life. It could be sports, it could be if it needs to be people, if you need the attention from people. I mean, there's so many different things. But yeah, replacing one addiction with another, I think is a good strategy. And yeah, just to wrap up this video, so realize happiness happens when your focus, your attention is back on your life. It's back on your everyday life. You can call it your boring routine or your whatever. That's not a positive way to look at it. I personally love my routine. I love my life, and um, it's not something I say egoically, proudly, or whatever. I'm just blessed and I'm grateful, and it has taken a lot of me timing, doing the right things to get to the point where I enjoy my life. And look, do you think the life of celebrities and all these famous people is like partying every day? It is not. It is not. I've been really blessed to have met and known and know a lot of people who are high up celebrities or have are wealthy. I know a lot of people from all walks of life, but their lives are very, very, they're like everywhere, they're like everyone's lives, and they're very simple. And actually the people that have the more simpler lives are the ones that have the happier lives. So sadly, in the media, in the news, in TV shows, in movies, in magazines, on the internet, we're constantly bombarded with what, you know, happiness we think is supposed to be: going out to clubs, drinking, partying, sex, you know, you know, all that kind of stuff. Big, fancy cars, money, villas, amazing places to live, watches, fuck all that shit. That is not happiness. And I think a lot of people know that, and more people are realizing that. Happiness is, having lunch with a good friend of yours, and both of you listening to each other, both of you exchanging information, having a creative discussion, having an inspiring conversation, working towards goals that may not be easy, but being um, passionate and feeling alive and excited about those goals. That's happiness. And the people who are enjoying their lives the most are the people that have their focus on those things, as opposed to, you know, thinking of the past or thinking of where they were. I'll wrap this up with something I've said before, which is very important, we all know, which is pretty much all of our suffering happens when we compare. When we compare where we are now to where we were maybe 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, what we had, or when we compare where we are now to where we think we should be or where we believe we will be happier. That's where all suffering comes from. Which is why so many people now are talking about being grateful or being present or enjoying where you are now. Because comparing what you have is where suffering comes from. There's okay to have a little bit of comparing. It can drive us to keep evolving and keep improving and keep growing. A little bit of comparing is okay, but we don't want it to be so much where we're never happy with where we are and we're always like either looking in the future or remembering what we had, but this is a big source of pain for a lot of people going through breakups, is that they're constantly comparing where they are now to like how it was with their ex. And remember, when you're with anyone, it doesn't have to be necessarily that ex, that person. When you're with someone that you're attracted to and you're spending a lot of time with, you're going to feel more stimulated. So everything's going to seem more fun or awesome. Even just lunch, same cup of tea that you would have normally had will seem way better when you're in that relationship. But everything, it's not that that was better and where you are now is worse or where you will be is better or worse. No, they're just different states of experiencing life. One is maybe more heightened, with more stimulation. Another is just different. And it just takes time for your mind and your heart to readjust to your current situation. So give yourself time, be patient, don't be in a rush. Try, be okay with the pain, don't be afraid of the emptiness, the suffering, the all of that kind of stuff, and also work on your focus and your attention a little bit every day. Do a little meditation, 1 minute a day, 5 minutes a day. Try to have more me time, and yeah, don't spend too much time indoors. Don't be in your bed too much. Try to be outside more. Be exposed to the sun, or just outdoors nature. Okay, so yeah, that's my video for now on the moment of happiness and why we feel happy as opposed to why we suffer. So try to be aware of your comparing, and the word comparing is similar to the word competition, competitiveness, which is, from what I have seen, 80% of suffering in a breakup is because of competitiveness. Who's the winner? Who's come out better? Who's got more power? Who's come out on top? And it's okay. That's natural, right? And I would advise all of my coaching clients to come out on top. And that's what I coach them to through no contact. But less no contact, and it's more about focusing on yourself. No contact is just a tool to help you refocus on yourself more. All right, 33 minutes. Hope there's something helpful in here, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Otherwise, sending you all out there all the best. Um, let's all share what works for us with each other, and yeah, just it's not going to be easy, but try to bring your focus onto your own goals, things that are interesting in your life, and setting those goals if they do not currently exist. All right. Talk soon. Bye.